used that to take care of the situation.
So Charles, clearly in a very good mood. This is a pretty special moment, isn't it?
It is for everybody. You know, we've been working on this for over 4 years, and we brought a lot of living legends together, like Kevin and Manuel and Phil. And, you know, the team has just been huge. It's well over, I think, 40 people have worked and participated on Plutus throughout the years. And we've learned a lot along the process. We had to build new counting model. We had to write new domain specific languages. We had to think really carefully about how to preserve certain key principles like, you know, determinism and predictability, you know, predictable resource consumption. And these were not easy tasks because you were always having this incredibly difficult trade-off between how expressive your system can be compared to how secure and deterministic the system can be. And what you're seeing today is the culmination of those 4 years of work. Now, there's a lot of work that has to be done to get us to a position where all the pieces pull together and you know, the platform gets fully commercialized. But now that's as much in the hands of the community as it is us as system architects, because you can run smart contracts now. And we're probably going to be under the greatest load we've ever seen as a network in the history of the network. As Neil mentioned, over 500,000 transactions just the last 5 days. That was more than the entire cumulative set of transactions the first year the system was in. And that's going to become the standard, not the exception to the rule. So it's an extraordinary moment, and I'm very proud of each and every person here. I really am. From the bottom of my heart, it's been the most difficult thing of my career, and I think it's been the most difficult task of everyone's careers, and probably the most meaningful, because this time next year, there's going to be so much running on the system. There's going to be microfinance happening, insurance happening, you know, there's going to be all kinds of things that are going to transform the lives of millions to billions of people throughout the next few decades. So that's why we did it, and that's why we built it. It's also a triumph for science. We started from the very beginning saying we're going to follow first principles, and we're not going to give up. We're going to use the peer review method. We're going to actually write things down in a very careful way and go through a process where people validate that who don't work for us, who are independent of the organization. And a lot of people said, well, you can't do that because you'll be too slow. You know, you won't be able to build anything real, or it'll be an academic toy. Well, we proved them all wrong today. And tomorrow, the community is going to continue proving them wrong. We're going to get tired of winning. It's going to be great.
So Charles, we'll come back to you to hear more in a moment. Maybe Sam, how are we doing? It looks like we're fairly close there. Yeah,
we're a couple minutes away. I'll start the screen share.
Okay. Perhaps just come and say hello while you're here. Romain, CTO, this has obviously been a journey, massive journey for your team as well. Perhaps you can talk to us a little bit as we go over the epoch boundary about some of the things that have happened.
So, in fact, a colossal effort from everyone. I mean, I'm proud of the team, impressed by the community also, because launching Alonzo was also creating a community of developers, right? Because we didn't have any developers before, right? No language, no developers. Now that we have a language on the mainnet, we also have a community that is ready to launch their apps. So I'm very impressed by what I've seen exchange and discussed with the community. The feedback was really crucial for us to be at the required level of quality.
Sam, maybe just talk us through what we're seeing in front of us just before we do the rollover.
Yep. So this was likely the last block of this epoch. And the next block is going to be most likely in the next epoch, unless there's one really close here. We are expecting a little bit of a delay, as Kevin said. This is a known issue that the team has been working hard on getting resolved, but has been put on the back burner because of Alonzo, and will be coming up soon. There's basically 3 things we're looking at here that are important. We have our chain density graph here. We have our protocol version here, and we have our Cardano slot height here. Essentially, we want to see blocks continue to grow on the slot height, and any minute now we should see the next block come in here. And then we have the Cardano chain density graph. This is one we're going to be monitoring very closely for the next 5 days. We're not going to see anything likely today that's alarming on it, but this is where we watch and see in real time how many pools making blocks are on the new era versus ones that have dropped off and have dropped our chain density. And then the protocol version. This will delay probably about 5 minutes because it's a running average on my graph here. But I will give you a heads up here as soon as we get a block in.
So Sam, we've had a fairly good proportion of SPOs upgrade their nodes.
Yes, it was last I checked over 85%. So we're looking pretty good there, and it's probably even higher than that. Keep in mind that was running averages over epochs that I was looking at. So if people updated later in the epoch, that number is going to be skewed a little bit down. So yeah, we're pretty confident we got enough SPOs upgraded.
So when will we start to see something move? What should we be looking at? Something seems to be ramping up there on the right hand side.
Yeah, ignore that. That's mathematical, interesting rounding errors basically. But chain density there fluctuates. It's lately been around 100%, which is amazing considering we've had times where we were at like 90, just below 90 in the past where people didn't shut down their pools correctly, things of that nature. So we're very happy with how well people have been at responding with their pools. So what we're primarily looking for is a bump on this Cardano slot height right here, which is fairly flatlined right now. But like we said, this is something we kind of expect at the epoch boundary.
And when will we know the name of the pool which has made the first block of the new Alonzo era?
As soon as this thing bumps up, we can check on an Explorer and find out what that pool is.
Okay, fantastic. So yeah, I mean, we could sit here and watch this all day, but I'll tell you what, while we're waiting, let's just bring one more person in. Let's bring Shruti in. So Shruti, you are the head of product for smart contracts. This is obviously a very important moment in terms of the network, but particularly it's going to be an important moment for the developer community as well. Perhaps you can tell us a little bit more about what we're going to be seeing kind of from this moment on in terms of scripts and in terms of dApps.
Certainly, Tim, and indeed, this is the beginning of a new era. We expect a lot of development to actually accelerate from now on moving forward. And as it is, we've already seen over 100 dApps in the process of being developed, or some of them are already being tested on testnet. So just so you know, like Marlowe is also one of the first Bluetooth dApps, and its architecture with the PAB serves as an exemplar. But so anyway, we've seen an incredible amount of activity, but to really build a flourishing ecosystem, we do need certain tools. We need developer tools, we need libraries, we need development and testing frameworks. And alongside that, we also need critical infrastructure. We need wallets, we need identity solutions. And of course, we do need economic identity solutions, such as one of them is Marlowe, of course, to build critical DeFi modules, any kind of peer-to-peer financial instruments. And that being said, what's important to both developers as well as end users is performance. So for that, we've got certain layer 2 scalability solutions like Hydra, which operate akin to state channels. All of this being said, we also need to be mindful of the fact that this is a decentralized effort. We need to build this foundation, which is going to support a flourishing ecosystem of dApps. So I'm looking forward to all of the open source contributions from the developer community moving forward. So this is the moment. And after this hard fork, we'll be able to see quite a few of these dApps actually come onto mainnet. And I'm really excited to see the developments moving forward.